the NBA has had a difficult year just like everyone else has. While the COVID pandemic continued to spread throughout the country, the NBA has had to adapt to a new normal. This season, however, is unusual because there are many teams who are ready to compete for the title. However, one team who seems to be the favorite to win it is the Los Angeles Lakers. Being that the Lakers are our hometown team, this is a good thing for everyone who lives in and around Los Angeles. For as long as I can remember, I have been watching basketball and have been learning more about the game as the years have gone by. Being a Lakers fan, I have seen how the great teams have been able to win championships, and as well I have seen them become one of the worst teams in the league. In my speech today, I will be explaining how and why the Los Angeles Lakers are considered the favorites by many to win the NBA title. The first and most important of the reasons as to why the Lakers are the presumptive favorites is because of their two superstars, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Second is the depth of their roster, and lastly, the team has a championship-level coaching staff. So like with any championship team, it begins with the star players, and the Lakers have two of the best. LeBron James signed with the Los Angeles Lakers as a free agent in the summer of 2018, and Anthony Davis was acquired through a monster trade that included 3 key young players and 3 future draft picks. And since their pairing began, they have been a terrifying duo to play against. LeBron James has been one of the most important figures in not only the NBA, but the sports world, since he joined the league all the way back in 2003. When LeBron James joined the Lakers, he promised to bring the Lakers back to where they belong, which was winning championships. While the first year wasn't exactly what he expected, with an injury coming on Christmas Day of 2018, where they were the 4th seed in the Western Conference, then ultimately not being able to overcome the time that was lost with injury to LeBron and missing the playoffs for the first time in 2005. However, the next season, after his name had been tarnished throughout the whole offseason, LeBron James came back with a vengeance. According to basketballreference.com, averaging 25 points, 10 assists, and 7 rebounds per game, leading the Lakers to an NBA title after a 10-year drought. Anthony Davis, a 6'11" forward who has the skills of a guard, Davis quickly became one of the best two-way players in the game. With his size, speed, and skills, during the 2018-2019 season, Anthony Davis requested a trade from the New Orleans Pelicans, where he was only able to muster up 1 trip to the second round of the playoffs in his 7 years that he was with the team. One of his preferred destinations was the Los Angeles Lakers, and in 2019, in the offseason, a trade was made and he was shipped to LA. Last year, Anthony Davis was the runner-up Defensive Player of the Year behind Giannis Antetokounmpo. Many people believe that he should have won that award. During his first trip to the NBA Finals, according to Basketball Reference, he averaged 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game against the Miami Heat. The Lakers not only have one, if not the best duos in the league, they have one of the deepest rosters of any team. The Lakers last season had an extraordinary supporting cast alongside Davis and LeBron James. One player who stood out, especially in the playoffs, was Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, or KCP, who was the top 3-point shooter. KCP came up huge in an important Game 4 of the Finals when in the last 3 minutes he went on a 5-point scoring streak all by himself, which propelled the Lakers to win that game and ultimately the series. KCP has continued his excellent play this season, shooting just over 50% from the 3-point line. During the short offseason, the Lakers were determined not to be complacent and made moves to become better as a team, and they did that when they signed 6th Man of the Year, Montrezl Harrell, as a free agent and made a trade with Oklahoma City Thunder for the runner-up, which was Dennis Schroeder. These 2 players make the team much less reliant on the 2 stars and will make the game easier for Davis and James by allowing them to play less minutes, which in turn will let them rest up for the postseason. SB Nation's Amir Tyree stated, LeBron James and AD will do most of the heavy lifting, but last year's top 2 6th Man of the Year candidates, Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell, will set the reigning champs over the top. Every team in the league would wish for a championship-level coach who can control the locker room as well as control egos. The Lakers' coaching staff is filled with many of them. The Lakers' head coach is Frank Vogel, one of the more defensive-minded coaches in the league. Vogel was hired in the summer of 2019, which was met with much criticism after their so-called first choice was Tyronn Lue declined their offer. Vogel made it his mission to prove the Los Angeles media and critics that he was the right choice for the job. Vogel made changes to the defensive schemes or plans, which led the team to having a 106.1 defensive rating, which was the 3rd best in the league, according to the Rappler.com. As Vogel gets more time with the team, his presence as a coach will continue to grow. With a new coach comes a new staff, and the Lakers coaching staff is full of accomplished coaches and assistants, beginning with Jason Kidd, who was once a candidate for the Lakers head coaching job, but now is a keystone assistant for the team. With NBA experience as an NBA champion in 2011 with the Dallas Mavericks, Kidd offers so much knowledge to the team. Another one of Frank Vogel's assistant coaches is Lionel Hollins. With over 40 years of NBA experience as both a player and a coach, as well as winning a championship with the Portland Trail Blazers in 1977, Hollins helps the team in so many areas. Finishing up with these points, I'll conclude with a quick review. The Lakers are the NBA favorites to win the title because they have the most dynamic duo in the NBA, alongside one of the deepest rosters in the league and the best coaching staff in the NBA. Without a doubt, the Los Angeles Lakers must be seen as the team to beat for the NBA championship. If the Lakers can live up to these expectations that have been put on them, they will cement their legacies for the most successful team in the NBA.